because ntho e ke bonang ka jeno ne ke sa nagane gore re tlo fitlhelela mo re leng teng.
A community of about 28 farm-dwelling households on plot 16 Welgespreid was forcefully removed from a place they have known for years as home, a place where their deceased loved ones are buried. Their humble homes were razed to the ground by the notorious Red Ant Security Services. The piece of land on which they had established themselves was privately owned, and the owner wanted them gone. Displaced and without an alternative roof over their heads, they put up on the side of a busy street their personal belongings, at least the little they managed to salvage besides them. After 2 consecutive nights on the pavement, they managed to attract the attention of authorities, who would relocate them to an alternative site, plot 323, a dust bowl surrounded by a reptile-infested bush near Halon Hills in Honeydew. A sprinkling of makeshift tents would sprout on the new site as temporary shelter while the residents awaited a permanent solution. It soon proved to be a long wait as days became weeks, weeks became months, and months became years. There were no basic services, no running water, no electricity, sanitation was poor, and the rubbish piled up, causing a hazardous stench. Inclement weather wreaked havoc. A 2-month-old baby died in a freak storm which blew the tents away. Meanwhile, an activist who lives in a nearby suburb, Lebohang Mofokane, took notice of the community's plight. He decided to take up the cudgels on their behalf, helping them to bring their grievances to the attention of officials at the City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality.
The deplorable conditions that we saw here in Ward 97 and the living conditions of the people of the plots who were evicted from plot 16 in 2017, and they were left to live displaced on the streets for 2 days. It was the concern. We approached the City of Johannesburg and the Provincial Department of Housing to provide a temporary accommodation for these people. That's when the disaster management came and accommodated these people on the tents in the land of plot 323.
But all their efforts drew a blank. In a time where it has become commonplace for activists to lead communities in violent protests in order to be heard, Mofokane maintained his cool. He knew that the Constitution presents the people of South Africa with a resource in the form of the Public Protector, an independent institution with powers to investigate, report on, and remedy any alleged or suspected improper or prejudicial conduct in all state affairs. He understood that through this free service, the community could hold their leaders to account and, above all, vindicate their rights. And so, in May 2019, he showed up at the office of the Public Protector, Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, requesting her intervention. With issues of the marginalized grassroots communities ever close to her heart, Advocate Mkhwebane wasted no time visiting the community to see for herself the deplorable conditions in which they lived. The disturbing scenes prompted her to sit all the role players around the table, not only to get answers, but to find solutions as well.
When I arrived here, I found that they were staying in some makeshift tents, and the tents, there's a lot of family members inside one tent. It's not a habitable environment. There's no sanitation, there's no water, it's dirty, and what was very sad was that I saw one old man who is 86 years this year, who was even sick, sleeping in his tent, and he couldn't even move, and the locals were looking after him. So, and I then also saw children who were just playing around here, not having any facilities for them to be safe. There are bushes around the area, apparently there's snakes, and the city is not even cleaning the place, especially the sanitation, issues of refuse removal. And I then had a session with the community at the community hall, where then they told me there are various challenges, especially how they are treated by the farmers around here, because they were evicted by a farm owner, and they slept in the street for 2 days, and then the city availed these tents for them through their disaster management. So what I can say is that through the intervention of the Public Protector, I then requested that we call an alternative dispute resolution process so that we can speedily resolve their challenges.
Many came to the party. Among them, the City of Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality, which undertook to construct dozens of prefabricated temporary housing units to accommodate the community, which had now increased to about 64 households. The structures were to come with ablution facilities, communal water sources, and electricity. A few days before the first-year anniversary of Mofokane's complaint to the Public Protector, the structures are already up and ready for occupation. Government leaders from all three ranks of the administration officially hand over the units to elated members of the community. Advocate Mkhwebane stresses the need for government to work closely together with independent constitutional institutions such as her office.
You understood that the adverse findings and the binding remedial action of such institutions will also help, not to say we are embarrassing the state institutions by issuing remedial actions, because we are saying to you, you've gone wrong in these particular areas, you can then improve on those areas, and going forward we will have a South Africa where children can play, where it's safe, and we will have sanitation, we will have water.
Ikemeleng community leader Patricia Mofokeng couldn't contain her joy.
Ke rata go leboga Public Protector. Ke batla go mo leboga gobane ke yena motho a qadileng wa pele gore a tlo bona bothata bo, ene itse ha bona bothata bo ile a dula fatshe a fela dula fatshe le yona, ene kgwedi fela re kopane le yena le ne se kgwedi before kgwedi fela ke ha se re bona dintho di move re ya leboga. Ke ka gona ne re mapesa go bona re mme matshireletso.
Her sentiments were shared by Mofokane, who is pleased that things have reached this point.
The City of Johannesburg built this temporary accommodation, TRUs, shortly after the intervention of the Public Protector. And we are really thankful for the intervention of Public Protector, led by Advocate Sisiwe Mkhwebane, for really going on the ground and listening to the complaints of the people and making sure they follow up on these complaints until these resolutions. The community is excited to see these beautiful temporary residential units that will ensure that their dignity is restored.
But this is only halfway to the promised land. These structures, however habitable, are only an interim measure. Advocate Mkhwebane assures the community that she will keep a watchful eye on things until the day they move into permanent structures.
But I think what we will do, we will keep the file and monitor for permanent structures, because sometimes there would be that challenge by government to just do this and forget about the community. We will never forget about them. We will make sure that there is permanent structure for them.